Hello everyone, Luke here, and after the final battle with Asa and him, Momo and Tsubumi all now deceased, the question is, where do we go from here with the cliffhanger of the ending of the last chapter? Well, let's just dive right into it and find out. Okay, so this will be chapter 255, titled Tile and Creature. Obviously, no surprise there, considering this entire chapter is primarily focused on both of them, and also kind of bringing their relationship full circle in a sense, where we get flashbacks to the beginning of the series and how it kind of all ties back in a way which I feel like for most people it would be satisfying. For others, not so much, and I mean, I was kind of one of them at the beginning, but now after seeing this and with all the things that I've been like, yeah, this does make sense, like what actually happened in this chapter. So anyway, it starts off with a colour page, and honestly, I have to agree with Pyjams here. Not one of the best ones, really. God, I don't know why then, like, my hat was just, like, keeping me in shadows. But that's besides the point. Let's just go with that. But yeah, colour page, I have to agree with Pyjams, isn't one of the best ones. I get what they're going for here. It's kind of meant to be, like, more of a sunrise kind of focus here, but at the same time it's still Tile technically meant to be in his true spring blooming. He's not completely Snow White, so I don't know where they were going with that. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you, Pyjams. This isn't one of the best colour pages that Godarius Sensei has actually done. But anyway, moving into the chapter proper, we have everyone just scrambling at this point to get to Tile. Like, is Tile okay? Is Tile okay? Tile's gonna die. He's not gonna die. He's not gonna die. As we see Tile's body just properly fizzling away here, and he says mission complete, but at this point Creature's just on the scene and looking at Tile, thinking to himself like, yeah, he's unconscious, but he's still alive, just barely. Like, Tile is that, like, 1% alive, but 99% completely dead at this point. And and at this point, Creature gets to have the last laugh, essentially. And Creature does get to have the last laugh in this chapter. And you know what? After what he does in this chapter, you can't really blame him. Like, based on what he does with Tile, you kind of have to give him this one. Like, okay, Creature, you get to have your messing about with Tile 100% now, because what you're about to do is probably the most selfless thing you've done for Tile ever in the series. So Creature is just there looking at Tile and picking him up, cradling him in his arms, and says, "Moron, you failed to protect Mutsumi, and this is all you could manage. Pathetic, like, failing to protect Mutsumi. I mean, you did that. Like, you've essentially saved the entire Yozakura family, but at the same time, you've done that with the notion that you were gonna die in the process. That's just pathetic. That's just pathetic, Tile." As we see Creature starting to turn right, and we finally get his true spring blooming. So, okay, yeah, like I said, I may have been a little bit hesitant with the lack of deaths on the Yozakura side, the lack of tragic elements on the Yozakura side, but to be fair, after weighing up all the evidence, and like I've been saying, after weighing up all the evidence, after being like, you know what, they've had enough tragedy for one lifetime, let's give them the happy ending. And to all those people who say like, were we Hiro Mashima here? I've never read Fairy Tail, and I've only seen a bit of Eden Zero, so I can't exactly give my own perspective on how people feel about, like, Hiro Mashima. But and people say, oh, this was editor interference. No. I don't think it was. I think this was something that was ultimately planned, because based on what Creature does say in the chapter, and also we have to think about Cosmo's prophecy blooming, where she's able to predict prophecies to 100% accuracy, and the prophecy that was stated that was either Tile dies, Asa dies, or they both die. It never said anything about any outside interference messing about with that prophecy. So, and technically Tile has died here, it's Karicho bringing an outside influence to kind of rectify that. So technically, yeah, Tao did die, but like I said, outside influence kind of messing about with that prophecy, and it did technically come true. One of them did die. Asura's died, so it's not like it's retconning anything here. And again, I do kind of see where people are going on here about like, oh, we're getting the happy end here, but at the same time, guys, as Polly John's estate has said to me as well, like. They've had more than enough tragedy, so let's give them let's just at least give them one sense of happy ending. And they've still lost both their parents. Like all the Yozakuras, they've still lost both their parents before they've even before most of them have turned like 30. So like I'm 30. I'm gonna be 34 in like 3 weeks' time. I've still got both my parents with me. The fact that these kids have lost their parents before any of them have turned 30, and at the same time, Alpha and Heel Fury, they're not gonna know the grandparents. Like they've got Ban and his wife. Like they're still gonna meet their great grandparents, but they've still not had any relationship with their grandparents whatsoever. So you kind of have to feel like, yeah, those kids, they're not gonna, like the kids who at their school are like, oh yeah, we're gonna have Grandpa and Grandma Day. Like they're never gonna have that. So yeah, that's still a tragedy on their part. But anyway, point is that they've had more than enough tragedy. They've still had losses in their family, so let's have them have a happy ending here. And even Creature says, I told you way back at the beginning, though I'm sure you entirely forgot by now. Like, I feel like this was like a jab at the audience members, like, oh yeah, I know you guys are going to think that this is a cop-out and that, yeah, me bringing Tyre back to life is just come out. But I've always said it right at the beginning of the series, I want to kill you, but I'll never let you die, even if it kills me. And I can kind of see why people may have been like thinking like, oh, is Creature going to sacrifice himself here? Is Creature going to sacrifice himself here? But again, and I feel like earlier on, Creature probably would have done that, but he's kind of running his lesson like, yeah, you can't really, with this family, you can't really pull the full weight of like sacrificing yourself for the sake of the family on your own shoulders. Like they're all part of it. That's what makes this family such a tight-knit bond. They're all in this together, and this is where we finally get the main ability of Creature's True Swing blooming, as we get this entire fog of white just spewing out of him as he places his hand on Tao's heart. It's like you just see the wave of fog coming out of him, and he goes on to explain like, okay, so while my blooming on my target just makes everything come around them, basically he uses Dark Hole, his void blooming, to go back to using Yu-Gi-Oh terms. His void blooming is Dark Hole, and that's how the nature of it works. It's an omnidimensional attack, and everything in the world crumbles around it. But just once break those laws and define nature. That's my True Spring blooming life. So I was wrong. I was wrong, sort of, but at the same time, kind of got a very basic idea, and I get like why you can only use it once. Like to use life over and over again just to break the laws of nature, that would seriously damage his body. And yeah, it makes sense why Momo didn't allow him to was like, if I was like, don't overuse this because it can cost your life. So yeah, just like with Yu-Gi-Oh, like I was alluding to here, like how you can only I have to go and check this with the official rules, but I've known for years and years you can only use Monster Reborn once. That you were only allowed to have one copy of Monster Reborn in your deck, and that's basically what it is. His blooming is Dark Hole, whereas his True Spring blooming is Monster Reborn, and it still works in the opposite way, like just crumbling everything to ashes. The True Spring blooming brings everything back to life, essentially. So. Death for the blooming, life for the True Spring blooming. That's kind of the nature that's going on here. And he can grab one soul on its way to the void and drag it back Threads meant to shred and destroy, change their nature, and weave themselves to create instead. So he's basically like literally sewing with his steel spider, sewing tile back together, and he states that he's culminated this solely for today, for this moment, because he kind of got. Creature always, I feel like in the back of his mind, knew that Tile was so selfless that he would be like, okay, yeah, I know you are going to try and sacrifice yourself in this battle with Asa, and yeah, and I know that is going to really mess up Mutsumi in an emotional way. Like, she'll lose both her parents and her husband. Like, I cannot let that happen, so I've got to train tirelessly to get this True Spring blooming. So that it's basically the Monster Reborn trump card to bring you back to life, Tile. And I do like, and like I said, this really brings the full circle of their relationship. Like, Kiricho at the beginning of the series just tirelessly annoyed that Tile gets to be the one to be with Mutsumi, but like he said, I hate you so much, I wish I could kill you, but at the same time, I'm gonna make sure you do not die, because my sister's happiness overrides my happiness, and while my happiness may be like, I want you out of my family, Mutsumi's happiness means that you've got to be part of my family. So I'm going to train you. I'm going to make sure you don't die just for the sake of Mutsumi, and that's what he's doing here. He's giving the ultimate sacrifice using his one-time life truth being fluent to basically make his sister happy, and again shows that just the full circle of their relationship. Like, they really showed like this is what a brotherly bond is like. Effortlessly annoyed by each other and always wanting to get the upper hand of each other. At the same time, when push comes to shove, they will die for each other. And Creature is no exception, even if it's to someone like Tile. And Creature further solidifies how he views Tile as now officially part of the Yozakura family, not just someone that's been married into it. He is, in Creature's eyes, a Yozakura, as he states here, come back, Tile. It is still too soon for you to go and leave your family behind. The fact that he says your family encompasses everyone, including him, and I do like that Creature gave this moment, and it's really helped to show how much Creature has grown as a character, as we see Tile's body reforge itself, and when he's like waking up, he sees Creature just literally not giving like how he would normally give Tile, like the creepy, like stern, like aura. He's just there, calm, collective, just being like, break time's over, you gotta get up now, Tile. And I do love like the immediate response, like this is quite funny here, and Creature's just that even in agreement here. It's just like, oh wait, oh, for a second there I thought it was heaven, but the fact that you're here, Creature, because of all the crap that Creature's done to him, he considers the fact that Creature is there with him saving his life as hell, and he even questions like, is this hell? And Creature says, I see, if you want to see hell that badly, yeah, I can send you there, but at the same time, yeah, I guess you could call this hell, considering I've had to use my trump card on you to save you. And like I said, I do like that they've had to use everything just to get through this one fight and get out alive with no ultimate casualties. Well, like I said, they've still lost casualties. They've still lost Momo and Ri. So yeah, it's not exactly like a 100% complete victory, like, and even Creature is going to bring up Momo in a bit to Mutsumi, but Katsuya gone. We see, as Creature says, there are two little imps scurrying about, and it's obviously Hifumi and Alpha just racing to catch him with Tile, and they're not going to let him off the hook here. The fact of what he's done, like, yeah, I'm just going to go and sacrifice myself and not tell anyone. Yeah, they're going to be and they come to him, right, but they're just like, okay, yeah, we've got to pinch his cheeks. Yep, this is Dad. Yep, this is Papa. We're with vital signs, normal people, pleases, signs of normal levels of abnormal. Yep, this is definitely Papa. We can both relax right now, and even Alpha acknowledges like he's not seeing the future where Tao dies, and it's gone, it's finally gone, and he can relax. So yeah, they're pretty much out of the woods now, and I am really looking forward to the next few chapters, how they're actually going to wrap up the series. I mean, we've still got a few chapters before the end of volume 29, so yeah, I feel like it's either going to end on chapter 259 or 260. 260 at the absolute maximum. I feel like that would be a nice round number to end it on, but I mean, they can still go for chapter 259 if they really want to. So as Tao is hugging his kids, he looks over to Creature and it's like, oh, Creature, thanks for that. Because of what you've done for me right now, these two don't have to grieve. And yeah, like I said, Creature, he gets this. He gets this now. He goes, oh yeah, you better be thankful because I spent painstakingly years weaving that single-use ace in the hole, and I had to waste it on you and not anyone else. So you better prepare for a lifetime of persistent incidences where I basically nag you over and over again of the fact that I saved your life, so I get to do something to you, Ty. Remember, I saved your life, I brought you back to life, so I get to save your life. So like I said, Creature, yeah, okay, you get that privilege, and at this point, Hiyofumi and Alpha give Creature the apology that, quite frankly, he doesn't deserve at times, but at the same time he does deserve, because he's trained them, but at the same time he's a creepy uncle, but at the same time they're saved their dad, so they're just there like, I'm sorry for always calling you a creepy uncle, I'll do my best not to say it out loud anymore, and I like that from here, for like, yeah, I'm still going to think of you as creepy a little bit, but at the same time, you've saved my dad, so I guess I can respect you in that sense. And this is where Creature's just like, it's nice to be loved by the people that I truly desire. Yeah, this is heaven. So yeah, okay, Creature getting all the thanks around. Yeah, he deserves that. Like I said, and this where everyone's just like bashing it, like, oh Tayo, are you okay? Are you okay? And they're all there just seeing Creature after he's like, I feel like I could go to heaven right now. And I love this. They're just like, huh? Okay, great, Creature. It was Creature that died. Yeah, it was not Tile, so yeah, we can run after him. Just a really funny moment there of everyone being like, okay, Creature's dead. That's great. But Tile's not dead. That's even greater. I do like that. And they're just like, oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so glad you're okay. You were very clearly almost dead a moment ago. Yeah. And this is where they're all just like, yeah, what was all that about, Tile? You were clearly nearly dead, and now Creature saved you. So what was all that about? And Creature basically just spills the beans like that. Oh, he was planning to sacrifice himself from the start. He just forgot to mention it to everyone, but I knew about it and I knew he was going to do that, which is why I got the true spring blooming of life. And you knew there was a high likelihood that this plan would kill you, Tile. And you also knew that if you mentioned it to anyone, they would be like, no, you are not doing that 100%. You are not putting worry through us, and we are going to talk you out. We are going to talk you out of this. So this is why you never said anything, you big idiot. And everyone there is just giving it like the death glare of like, Tile, you know that we do things as a family here, and the fact that you went behind our backs, yeah, you deserve some punishment for that. And Creature says like, well, it's not for any of us to decide. You committed the crime of keeping secrets during a Yozakura mission, so the only judge fit for you is their family head that says, see Mutsumi arrive along with I and Ayaka. And you could just imagine like Ayaka just thinking like, do I get a chance to torture Master Tile if I get Miss Mutsumi's permission? And but I just say like, Tile's dead. Tile's not dead. Tile's not dead. Tile's not dead. And at this point, even though Tile wants to say something to me, she's just like, "Don't say anything." I was willing to brace myself for it, that there would be a possibility that you would die, but despite all of that, I had faith in what you told me, and you have come back to me, and just like you promised, you are not dead, so that's enough for me. But at this point, since I've hugged you, and since I said that, Now, everyone, you get a chance to mess with Tile to your heart's content, and you just see everyone just getting ready to be like, okay, what do we get to do to Tile here? And I could just imagine Creature being like, yes, I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years. But at the same time, he doesn't get that point because he's got something more important to explain to Mutsumi, and everyone else is just being like, okay, we're getting the pens, Tayo, if you can do that on your own, we're going to give you Tickle Torture, we're going to give you Permanent Marker Touch here. So yeah, even though Karicho was probably thinking like, I finally get to do this to Tayo, but yeah, I need to tell Mutsumi that Dad passed away, and Mutsumi's just like, I see. Thank you, thanks Karicho, thanks for telling me that and letting me know. As we see everyone going about with the cleanup, we see Goliath and Leviathan just there in the ocean, and we get to cut to Kai and yeah, I was wondering what's going to happen with them. Like, what's going to happen with Asa's kids now, because they're still there with Kai and Alex and everyone. So what is gonna actually happen with them? Like, that's a question that I'll want to know by the end of the series. Like, what is gonna happen with Asa's kids? Are they just gonna go off? Are they gonna get adopted? Are they gonna get adopted now? Because they really have nowhere else to go now. So to round out the chapter, they say the academy needs repairs, our allies need medical care, and preparations are in order to take anyone into custody, any perpetrators. So I'm guessing the kids are going to go into custody, but at the same time they were kind of manipulated by Asa just as much as others were manipulated. So whatever happens to them, like, that is something I would want to know. Like, are they going to get adopted, or are they going to just get prosecuted as criminals? I don't know, but they go on and say, and then once we've reached a good point for a break, it's finally time for us to go home, back to the family mansion. So we're finally going back to the mansion, which we haven't been since the time skips, because we spent so much time in the academy that it's going to feel like so surreal, like being back in the Yozakura mansion after everything that's gone through. But yeah, they say the second mission, Yozakura Front Lines, is now complete, and as Tayo and Mutsumi hold hands, they finally get back to their everyday life, and that's where the chapter ends, with a brilliant shot of the entire family all there together. And yes, I am including Aika and I in this because they are essentially family members. They live with the family, so they are family members. So yeah. Really good chapter. Really brought Creature's character full circle and established that he now properly fused. I mean, we kind of had the inclination before that, but this way he literally spells out, like, you are part of this family now, Tayo. I may want to kill you, but you're still family to me, so I'm gonna protect you, even if it all kills me. And it very well could have done. Like, that ability of life could have very well been anything. And like I said, if Karicho had died in Tao's place, I feel like the vast majority would have been happy with that. But at the same time, like I said, the Yozakuras have lost both their parents, and now they just want to live life. They've been through so much tragedy, lost both their parents, had sufferings from outside and inside the family. They deserve a break. They deserve a normal life. And what we'll be getting from the next chapter and the next few chapters to wrap up the series, I have no idea. That's a free-for-all right now of how they're going to wrap up the series. So it's something we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.